Hey guys, welcome to another episode of R-Rated Christianity. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, welcome. This is a apologetics podcast. Comes from the Greek word apologia, Christian apologetics podcast. We're not apologizing. Is that music still on? On yours? We're not apologizing for being Christians. Apologia means to give an answer, a defense. It's a Greek word that means to defend your position as a Christian. Why we believe that Christianity is logically consistent. It doesn't violate the laws of non-contradiction. We think it's the greatest explanation for all the evidence we see out here in the world. We believe it does the best to answer the different questions that deal with origin, morality, meaning, and destiny. Those are different topics that every worldview has to answer. Where do we come from? What's our definition of right and wrong? What's the purpose in life? And where do we go when we leave this earth? Because that's last time I checked, that's 100% of people are leaving this earth. It's the only thing we all have in common is we're leaving this earth. And so that's what we do here. The R stands for real and raw and redemptive. We have real conversations. We do them in a very raw way. Normally this weekend, it's going to be a little different. But hopefully it leads to a redemptive relationship with the first century Jew that we believe is God incarnate, Jesus Christ. So I believe this is our first week on Twitter, X, whatever the hell that's called.
Yeah, first week.
Good job. Tyler got us signed up first. So this is a first for Twitter. Welcome. So
Twitter is like X is a free speech platform, so we should definitely support that and get our message on there since we've been shadow banned by Facebook and everybody,
over the years.
All the big boys.
We've been doing this close to 5 years now. Normally, George he's not transgender and turned into a little young girl. This is my daughter.
Oh, I thought.
Not you. So Maya's with us again, so it's not George. George is baby, pull the microphone to you.
Where do I look?
Just look. Don't look at anything. Look at me. No, don't look at anything. You just look at me. You don't worry about the cameras. You just look at your person you're talking to. But so this is Maya, our oldest daughter. Not me and Tyler's oldest daughter. Me and my wife's oldest daughter. And so she's been on the show with us before. This was an audible because George couldn't make it last minute. Said some things come up. And so I said, what am I going to do? I guess I can talk to Tyler. And then I just said, let's get Maya back on here. Last time you were on, I think it was pretty interesting. And we just Tyler and I were just kicking, just literally within minutes, talk about, maybe we just throw on some ideas about young people today, what it means for you to grow up in a Christian household. What does it mean to be a Christian? I'm not going to grill you on this, but it's just a conversation. Maya's blessed with a good group of friends. I know quite a few of them, if not all of them. They're good people. What are you laughing at? They're nice people.
Yeah.
I like your friends. but these are conversations we're having. Society is different.
You're embarrassing her, Dad.
Well, I thought of someone.
She thought of somebody. But I like her friends overall. I do. But society's different. It's different than when we grew up. Maya is 15. There's no topic off table for us in our household. We've always said that the purpose of a parent is to prepare their child. Proverbs 22:6, start a child up in the way they will go, and then when they get older, they will not depart from it, hopefully. Doesn't mean they're not going to sway or whatever, but depart meaning just break themselves from it. We're seeing the data, and I think I brought this up to you and your friends. We do every 6 weeks. We do a meeting with, 6 weeks, right? 4 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Depends. Yeah. We have a little gathering of your friends. And we talk, and you guys fellowship, and we eat. But then we talk about a biblical topic, and they can ask any questions they want to. And I think people are more comfortable doing that. How do you guys like that? Are you guys enjoying that?
We like it.
Can she hear? Can you speak in the microphone?
We like it.
Yeah. What do you like, and what do you like about it? I think it's important because you have friends outside of your school.
Yes.
You guys know people. So what are you noticing from other kids that are not in your circle, or what do you guys hear about other kids your age or young people your age are dealing with in society today?
I feel like people at public schools, especially, there's just, since I don't go to a public school, some of my friends do now, so I kind of hear just about everything that happens, like drugs and vaping and, sex and just stuff like that. And so, I don't know.
And so your friends that have been in your circles, they go to these other public schools, and they're being exposed to this stuff, right?
Yes.
What have they said about it? Don't divulge any private conversations, but what overall are they saying? Is it shocking? Would they prepare for that? Were they ready for that? Are they being pressured? What's the mindset of these other kids? They feel like they have to live up to somebody else's standards. What are they dealing with?
I think my friends, they're good people, so they have morals for themselves and they know that it's wrong. So I'm confident that they're not going to get involved in any of that. But I think that I think they knew what to expect when going to public school.
Well, that's always been our battle is, mommy and I want to prepare you and by default your friends for a very hostile world. I mean, a world that is very openly anti-Christian. You're okay? Am I boring you?
No, sorry.
I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm teasing. So you should be going to bed probably right now, but it's all right. You're up with me. I mean, so what would, I mean, I'll just ask you this. I mean, you go to some youth groups. I mean, what do you believe? What does it mean to be a Christian? I'm curious what you guys, I don't think that question's come up in our group yet, but I mean, it should.
No, it has.
It has?
To be a follower of Jesus.
Okay, follow. That's good. Okay, follow. And what does that mean, though? I mean, because, in the world's presented a different way. Because, I mean, the Christian way, you can be called names if you're in a hostile territory. You goody two-shoes, you this, and tonight's going to be PG-rated Christianity, by the way, because I'm not going to say too many things like we normally do. But what, I mean, what are your friends? Because your friends are Christian. The group, our group, they claim to be Christian, right? So how do you? Well, I don't want to embarrass you. I will tell you this. There was one time. Well, no, I'm not going to say it.
How was it for you? How was it for you growing up in high school?
Well, me, I'm not.
Wait, say what you were going to say.
I went to Catholic school, but there was a situation where you were in. I won't give the details. Where your friends were doing something.
Oh yeah.
And it was something that that no parent would approve of, and you on your own distance yourself from that to a point where people that you thought were your friends turned on you.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought it to our attention. We didn't find out on our own. You brought it to our attention on your own. And I think you saw for the first time, at least, when you stand for a principle, even amongst your own group, that there could be backlash. Mm-hmm. And then you have to be, and then you got into a point where they were trying to blame you for something because they thought you were going to rat them out for what they were doing. Mm-hmm. And then it was you saw this. I mean, without saying too much, because I don't want to embarrass any people here, but how did you walk through that? I mean, I know you were talking to Mommy and I about it, but.
I mean, I know, I guess I knew it was wrong. And I knew, the first thing that came to my mind was I knew that y'all wouldn't want me doing that. And y'all wouldn't want me in that scenario. And so if y'all didn't want me doing that, then I knew I shouldn't be in that scenario. So I didn't involve myself.
Well, let me ask you this. From your perception growing up in this household, who do you believe sets the tone in the house? Meaning, who sets the rules in our home?
You.
But who do I follow the rules from?
Jesus.
I mean, and it's been clear, right? I mean, I always.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's always what Christ says. I mean, it's what Jesus says. But what I've always wanted you to understand that you don't have to be some goofy ass Christian, that you can be practical, that it's logical, that there's benefits to following Jesus, and that you will experience all the things that the world wants you to experience now at the right time when you do it Christ's way, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you think was the greatest? Because I mean, I've heard you talk, and I know some of your friends are very devout in their faith as well. What do you think has been the biggest influence in the sense of how you think or the way you look at the world? I mean,
you.
Okay, thank you. I mean, that's good. No, that's a good thing. Well, maybe, right, but it's not like you understand it though. You seem like you understand it. It's not like you're putting on a show for me. I mean, because I've been privy to some of your conversations with your friends. Maybe at times when you didn't know, but you seem to believe it though. I mean, that you're not. I mean, I'm not in the camp that says that your kid never does anything wrong. I mean, but I'm just saying you seem to believe, and you're persuaded by the Christian ideology.
Yes.
And well, that's very good. And, no, but I'm just saying. But what questions do you have? What questions do your friends have? I'm trying to get into the mindset of 15-year-olds. I mean, and I know that your group, and it's a blessing, are not what's out there, what your other friends are experiencing now. But there's still a lot of pressures, and you all are going to be exposed to it at some point. You're gonna leave the nest. What questions do your friends have about life, about the world? What do they think about family? What if the ones that they claim to be? What questions do they have, or what questions?
I don't know. I think I can speak for a lot of people when I say, what's keeping us from doing bad things when Jesus forgives us for every bad thing we do?
Say that one more time.
I said, like, what's keeping us from doing bad things when Jesus forgives us for every bad thing we do?
What keeps you from doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at some point, if you go into is that a question?
I mean, yes.
Well, of course, Jesus forgives us if we truly repent, right? But if you go into a situation saying, Jesus is going to forgive me anyway, then you're not really,
Right.
you're walking into taking advantage of his grace. And then you have to really think that, are you really wanting to be forgiven, or do you not respect what he did on the cross for us? I mean, so when you say go into this, like, screw it. And look, when I grew up, no disrespect to our Catholic brothers and sisters, I'll just go to confession, do whatever, I'll be fine. No big deal. This is Saturday and Friday and Saturday, but Sunday will be, that's not a repentive heart. Mm-hmm. So there's a difference, and I've said it to the group. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between repentance and remorse. Remorse is, oh crap, I'm sorry I got caught. Repentance is when you're sorry enough to change your behavior and to consistently work towards a change. Not perfect, but consistently work towards a new way of looking at things, a new way of thinking. Mm-hmm. And that only happens, true repentance only happens when you have a relationship with somebody and you agree and submit to doing something else. So I can't be repentive to somebody. I mean, you have to care and about somebody to truly repent, right? I mean, so when repentance to God is, I have a relationship with him. It grieves my heart that I hurt him for not, following his ways and grieving his heart. And I'm committing to doing things his way. That's what a follower of Jesus Christ means. I think that some people, especially, I mean, not just you guys, I mean, older people too, don't believe that we're going to stand before the Lord, someday. What other questions do you guys have? I mean, nothing, I mean, just.
Not really. I mean,
life it's just beautiful.
Well, no, I guess just when bad things happen to us, everyone says, oh, God has a plan, or God has a reason for this. And I know you have to just wait it out, but I don't know, when my friends come to me for this stuff, I don't really have good advice to give them, because I'll tell them that God has a plan, but obviously that's not going to help, and that's not going to make them more at peace. Well,
that's a good question. So God has a plan. What I think they're referencing is Romans 8:28, that God works all things out for the good of those who love him and are called by his purpose. Mm-hmm. So he'll work things out for people that have a relationship with him, that they've submitted to him and are obedient to him, right? So, everything happens for a reason. Well, what if you're just a jerk? You know what I mean? That doesn't happen for that reason. So if you have a relationship with God and you submit yourself to him, then he can work all things out. God is not, he doesn't want a bunch of robots, so he gives you an opportunity. Like Mommy and I give you enough leash. You have to make decisions, and there's consequences. So God allows things to happen. He doesn't make everything happen. Mm-hmm. It's not like he's going to make somebody do something stupid. I mean, you have a choice. You have free agency, free will. You make a choice, and there's consequences. And Mommy and I have always taught you that, whether it's a grounding, something being taken away, you have to deal with your consequences, right? And so God's no difference. He wants us to freely love him. He wants us to cheerfully give and and want to serve him, and out of gratitude. And that doesn't mean that he's going to browbeat you or make you do something. It's out of relationship and willingness that you submit. It's not forced. I mean, he's a gentleman. He's not going to force himself on you.
Right, but what about when things happen to us, but it's not our fault? Like, for example, a loved one passing away, or just.
That's different, right? We live in a broken world. And you know about your Theo Mike, my brother, that passed away, and you know how he passed away, right? We've talked about that before. He was taken from us in a horrible event. And so God allowed that to happen, no doubt about that, but God did not choose that to happen per se. He knew it was going to happen. He's sovereign. God knows everything. It's not like they took him off guard. Now, he allowed things to happen, but you have to remember, obviously Theo Mike made decisions leading up to that moment. It wasn't his fault by any means. These people were carjacking people, but we live in a flawed, broken world. And so in a flawed, broken world where people have to have free agency, then some people are going to do bad, some people are going to do good, and God's going to overlook it all and use it all. Because we're thinking in limited time, because we're on this earth. God's thinking eternal, mm-hmm. right? And so he gives us, by definition, if God loves us, he has to give us an opportunity not to love him back. Mm-hmm. Or else it's not love. right? I mean, it's not love. It's forced. Then you're a slave. You're in prison somewhere. So he has to, by definition, for God to truly love us, he has to give you the opportunity to reject him, or it's not real love. Because then it wouldn't be a real relationship. Then you'd be a pet or a slave or something else.
Right.
So when you live in a broken world like that, you have people that make choices. Now, the question ultimately is, well, if this person's making a crappy choice, and this person's doing, then why did God still allow that crappy choice? That question I can't answer you. I mean, because we're not there yet. All I can tell you, and I've shared this with you before, and I think I shared it with your friends, as crazy as it sounds, I would not take back Theo Mike's murder. Because I have to take it all back. I mean, I got to take everything back. I mean, I have to take back marrying mommy. I don't even know if I'd be alive. I would have gone down a different path maybe. I got to take it back, everything that I've done in my life. I got to take back my relationship with Christ. I'd have to get there another way. Because I am who I am today because I went through the anger and the suffering and the unforgiveness and the hatred and all the crap I went through dealing with something as ugly as someone being murdered in front of you, or right, in your house, to get where I'm at. Because what we want to do in life is we want the same result and take away the journey. And so I can't answer, no one can answer that question ultimately, but we have to think that God's working off of a different platform. So he didn't even stop his own son from being murdered and tortured, right? Christ died for us. John the Baptist, who served him faithfully, was beheaded, kind of a quick ending at the last minute. All the disciples were killed except for John. He passed away on an island, but he was poisoned and they tried to kill him. He had a tough life too. So God allows those things for a bigger purpose, right? And so there's no way I would have known that in August 15th, 1996, when Theo Mike was murdered, that I could think fast forward to 2024, and I'd have a 15-year-old daughter that loves the Lord, that is tough and has all the talents you have, and Leah and Michael and Zeither and the life that the experiences I've had leading up to this time, and being blessed to marry your mommy and things of this nature. But all that goes away if something as ugly as Theo Mike's murder is gone, right? So that ultimate question, God's working off eternity. And we have to say to ourselves, is there no possible way for God to use an ugly, evil situation for ultimate good? We can't say that. We can't say that from a murder to anything that happens to someone getting sick to whatever it is. And we can't divorce ourselves from the fact that many people that get sick have not taken care of their health leading up to them being sick. So we don't like to look at that. We like to look at the situation that sucks into that. But that's a good question too. Those are all good questions. I think they're legitimate questions. What else? What other questions you guys have? What do you guys think about the future? You're just planning for your future? Like, what are your plans? What is your thought of a family? Do you want to have a family? Because many young people don't even want to have families anymore.
I don't have a family.
You do? What do you want? What do you want to do? What kind of profession you want to? What do you want to do with your? Have you thought about your career or what you want to do? Education?
I wonder.
Well, I don't know. I'm asking you.
Right.
Huh?
I want to be a lawyer.
You want to be a lawyer? You don't have to be a lawyer. You know that.
Okay.
I think you'd be a good lawyer, though. By the way, you're a good talker. Good thinker. You have to be a good thinker to be a good lawyer.
Do you guys have career days?
We do not. Grey Hearts doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have career days when you were growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like when you were growing up? Like, what did your career days look like? What were like
Typical police officers, firefighters, doctors, carpenters, electrician came in one time. I mean, you name it. Whoever's parent wanted to come in to talk, any profession, any skilled labor. I mean, I went to Catholic school, so it was a small Catholic school, but I mean,
okay, what was the job then that was like, hey, they're going to be the most growth and the best income potential?
I didn't think like that. I mean, I wanted to be a police officer in kindergarten, and then after first grade on, I wanted to be a lawyer like my pop.
From first grade?
From first grade on.
Wow. When did you develop that, Maya?
Maybe, I don't know, 4th grade.
Really?
Really, you think so?
Because when I was younger, I wanted to be like a therapist for kids with special needs.
That's right.
Just because of Michael, and I wanted to be that for a long time, and I'd still be open to that. But as a full-time profession, then I started.
Well, let's talk about Michael, because you've had an interesting journey, being the oldest, and dealing with Michael. I mean, there was a time. I mean, I know you remember when you shared with me about that time when you guys were coming back from Port A, and Michael had a big meltdown, right? I think that was a kind of a turning point for you. Tell her if you don't mind. Do you mind talking about it?
Sure.
So tell us about that. So you were grounded for like 6 months in that time. It was kind of in the middle of it, right? You were grounded at first. So let me tell you the situation, I guess. I'm not gonna say the whole thing. So you were grounded for 5 or 6 months, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the first 2 or 3 weeks, you were kind of bitching around, right? You were just complaining about it. And then I told you, I said, look, I deal with people that go to prison and make poor choices all the time. And because of their behavior, attitude, and their petition, they parole out early. Or you can complain about it and serve your whole time. I said, well, that's up to you. You make your own choice. So your attitude, I have to admit, completely changed. You had a very good attitude. You made your appeal to me after a couple of months. It was a good appeal.
After a couple of months.
Well, it was. I mean, but I told you didn't address one issue, so I denied it for a while. Then you tried again, and you got off early, did you not?
Yes.
You got off. She paroled out a month early, but she earned it. I mean, you made a good argument. I still have the letter. It was a good argument.
Oh dear.
And I'll remind you when you get older. But so
wrote you a letter?
Twice. She made it. She was trying to parole out early. Denied the first time, granted the second time. It was good. She thought it through.
And the grounding was from
It was from July to December, something like that.
the phone or
From everything, going to
friends,
birthdays, everything,
wow.
everything.
Wow.
Consequences, man. So, well, I mean, that's the truth. And so,
So how were you grounded as a kid?
they didn't. I mean, we got spanked. I don't know if I ever got grounded. It was just, I don't know if we got grounded. Yeah, I think we got grounded. I guess so. That's my mom. I don't remember.
I do have the ultimate question for you though.
Okay, well, I want to talk about Michael.
Yeah.
Ask it now, but then we'll talk about Michael.
No, after
There's going to be longer. Michael's going to be a longer process. It's a good conversation.
Okay, well, I hate cutting off this, but
Yeah.
okay. Do you have any? Do you guys? How does your teacher discipline you in school? Do you guys get like tased or spanked or paddled or verbal lashings, or like how do you guys, do you have demerit system? Like how do you get
Detention.
detention?
Look at you, Michael.
Detention.
They just they get mad at us. They yell at us. I don't know.
Shit, I went to a Catholic school. They used to hit us with paddles.
Yeah.
Dang.
They used to, I promise you, the nuns, they were like ninjas, man. These samurai nuns. I mean, paddles, rulers on the back of the hand, not drumsticks, but there's these sticks to the thigh, paddles to the thigh, or paddles to the butt.
Dang.
Catholic school, old school. Look, let me tell you
Are
this.
there any schools that do that anymore?
Hell no. Are you kidding me? They've all have 14 felonies. So when I was going through the school that they're at, I was doing a walkthrough. This is back when I was in office. And I was walking through this, and the headmaster was walking us through. And I said, what the hell? These kids are all listening. First grade, kindergarten, they were scholars. And I said, headmaster, I'm going to ask you something. And I'm really okay with it. I don't mind. I'm just curious.
What's your secret?
I said, do you spank them? And he goes, no, of course not. And I'm walking with, a couple of guys from the office. And so we're all there. He's probably thinking we're going to arrest his ass. And I said, no, I went to Catholic school. I don't care. I'm just curious. He's like, no, we have them take pride in being scholars and this, and there's consequences. And I was like, damn, that's good, man. That's really good. It was good. But it just tells you where my mindset was back then. So back to Michael. So one night, to set the tone, I was tucking everybody in bed.
Oh, I remember this.
And you said, Papi, can you come here? I said, sure. So I was walking by. And he said, I want to tell you something. I want to talk to you about something. It's okay. And he said, I know I shouldn't have. And I'm starting thinking, like, what the hell now? You're going to be grounded for another 6 months? I thought you were going to confess something. And well, you did, but it wasn't bad. But you just said, Papi, because I had to come back early from Port A because I had a jury trial. And so Mommy and you guys stayed back. Mm-hmm. And there's that little amusement park thing on the way back. Well, in the where they have the video games area, a lot of noise. Michael had a sensory overload. So he melted. He had a meltdown, right? That's what you were telling me. And you said, Papi, it was really bad, and he was down there, and he was being really loud, and Mommy had to physically pick him up and carry him out. And you said to me, what'd you say to me?
I told you I was kind of embarrassed, but I know it's wrong to be embarrassed of him, but I was.
Yeah, you said, I'm sorry, Papi. I shouldn't be, but I was embarrassed. And do you remember what I told you?
I don't.
It's okay. I said, can you imagine how he thinks? Remember that? And she goes, what do you mean? And so then at that time, I showed you that 9-minute video that Mommy had showed me 9 years earlier about a little girl named Carly, who was a twin. And she was, at 2 years old, she regressed into autism. Different topic. We'll talk about that later. And she was severely autistic. And she had a twin that was fine. And, I'm talking head banging, fecal smearing, no contact, no working with letters, nothing. And then at 11 years old, she started typing on a keyboard that they never used before during their therapy, HELP. And it took a while. I mean, they're trying to condense the house fast. HELPHURT, help, hurt, and then she threw up. And the therapist freaked out. They said, we've never worked with letters. We never worked with keyboards. There's no way. How could this have been a fluke? For months, she wouldn't respond. It's on YouTube. And then they finally tied her, remember her treats, not her treats, her rewards,
Right.
with her using the keyboard. And even though it takes a long time, she was fully there, right? Types up, thank you. And she explained all her characteristics, why people on the spectrum don't look at you, why they stem verbally versus physically, why they bang their head for the pressure. I mean, she was explaining it all, right? And she told her, Daddy, thank you for never giving up on me. I love when you read books to me. It was powerful. I mean, Maya was a mess, right? You were crying through the whole thing.
Yes.
I laid down with you. And I said, so why do you think I tell Michael, I love you, buddy, whenever he's stemming in the corner, I never want him to just stem.
Right.
I want him to know that we acknowledge him. He's not just ignored in the corner, even if he doesn't want me around, because no, Puppy, no. But I'm going to tell him that I love him. So what is it like? I've never asked you this. What is it like having a brother that's special needs?
It definitely changes my way of thinking
In what way?
because I don't know. Sometimes people at school they'll be like, "Oh, you're retarded," or "Oh, they'll joke about autism and stuff like that. And I think having a brother with special needs has kind of just changed how I think about all that stuff.
What do you mean they joke about that?
If
Are
I
they
could
are they
jump in-
talking about Michael, or are they just saying in
No,
general?
like-
They'll make jokes in general
Right,
about,
right.
oh, you're
No,
such a
no, no.
retard or whatever,
Yes,
right?
yes,
'Cause I was
yes.
gonna say, if someone said about Michael,
No.
I should be getting a call from the principal's office because you kicked the crap out of somebody.
No.
You understand that, though,
Yes,
right?
I
All
understand.
right, go ahead.
I've genuinely heard people using the word autistic now. Like we used it a lot as retarded back. Like people go, "Oh man, that's autistic," or "Oh man, I've heard that." Have you too? Like yeah, that's like common slang nowadays.
And I think I just, like, some people will laugh and I just won't laugh. And then if my friends ever use those jokes to me, I just tell them, I just say, I don't like it when you joke like that.
Even they're joking in general.
Yes, even
Yeah.
though they're joking, I just said that's
Get
not,
near the Michael.
I'll just say, like, that's not funny.
Good. How do they respond?
No, they're very, like, understandable and considerate.
Because they don't understand. They don't know.
Well, no, they don't know.
Yeah.
But now that Michael's in the same building as me, I think everyone kind of, because you can hear him in the hallway and you can
When he's stemming.
You can hear him stemming. Like during fire drills, you can hear him. He's on the field. He's really loud. And it's just,
But how do you think it shaped you? I mean, I have my opinions about it. Do you see the difference? 'Cause I remember at times, when you were younger, I don't think you appreciated it because you had a different perspective. Puppy, why can't we go here? And you just can't pick up and go. We as you know, our family has to plan around,
right.
about Michael. We just have to take that into consideration. It's just that's the responsibility God has given all of us, not just Mommy and I.
I think I'm a lot more mature because of it. Like because I've taken care of him and I know how to handle him, and I have this just not sensitivity, but this just, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but this just like spot in my heart that's for Michael, and it's just, I don't know, it's different than the rest of me because I can be, laughing with my friends and having a good time, and then I turn around and Michael's getting upset. Like, my mood will change like that, and I'll just go, and help him, and it'll be completely different. I think it's made me more mature as a person because having to grow up doing things that other little girls haven't, like, I don't know, learning how to fight your brother and just
resist him, right, a little bit.
Well, not fight him, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you
him.
mean. Yeah, because he'll pull your hair.
And just getting used to screaming in the house or just stemming in the house.
Yeah, but look, I've seen it. I've seen it in all you guys. I mean, Zaiter and you and Leah, all of you guys. I think Michael's been a wonderful teacher. It hasn't been an easy lesson, but he's been a wonderful teacher. And I never want us to forget what he's going through. Just because he can't express himself doesn't mean he's not in there. And that's why I really wanted to show you that video with Carly. I just think it was Mom. When Mommy showed me that years ago, it changed everything for me. I mean, and that's why you saw my behavior.
Because I would talk around him as if he couldn't understand, or as if he couldn't hear. So, but now
Do you find yourself being more empathetic to other special needs kids?
Definitely.
I mean, interesting. I'll tell you, it's been a journey for all of us, for all of our families, right? I mean, he's been a blessing. We have to alter things, but also I also, Mommy and I have tried to be very deliberate about not making autism our identity.
Right.
I mean, it can't be everything. And then and I tell other families that have child on the spectrum that yes, that's a big part of your life. It just can't be your life because you can't ignore your other children. Right. You can't ignore your marriage. You can't ignore what God has you guys doing. This is a part of it. There's no doubt about that. But I know a lot of other families deal with it very differently. Do you have other friends that have special needs siblings?
Caroline.
That's right.
And so she's very, empathetic towards Michael and just, because she has a little sister with Down syndrome, so she doesn't like those jokes either.
Right.
And she won't joke about about that because it bothers her.
Yeah.
And I have another girl, the other girl who's in the class with Michael all the time. She's a senior, and I'm friends with her brother, and so you can hear her in the hallway too. And
is she on the spectrum?
She has. I don't know I think she is, but she has Down syndrome, I think. But she's yes, and so you can hear her in the hallway because she also makes noises, and sometimes the kids will turn around and they'll laugh, and I'm just doing my work because it's not.
Just tell them not to laugh,
Well, no, I have.
Good.
I have, and so has
But
Caroline.
never back down. Never back. Yeah, I know you don't, baby. I know. I'm just saying. Because if anybody, I mean, what do I tell you guys when it comes to Michael?
There was this one time we were in seminar, and I was having a heated debate with one of the girls over this topic on a book, and
A separate topic?
It was a separate topic, and then she goes, "Well, we all know that it was one of the characters. She's like, we all know that Lenny's kind of sped, and people say sped
Special ed,
but they say it as
and
so then I stopped and I looked at my teacher. And my teacher looked at her, and then he was about to say something, and then I cut him off, and I was just, he wasn't about to say something. He just went and then so I talked, and I just said, "Don't say that. That's not appropriate for school. That's not appropriate. Don't joke about that." And then my teacher was like, "Yeah, you shouldn't be saying that. That's offensive to some people because you shouldn't be joking. That's not a funny joke and stuff like that." And so.
Yeah, look, I mean, jokes are fine. There are some things that should be off limits. I mean, as a special needs child should never be the brunt of a joke. And what do I tell you guys always? What do I always reinforce to you guys about if somebody's hurt or picking on Michael?
To hurt them.
What?
To hurt them.
What do you mean?
Give them a knuckle sandwich?
Yeah, well, it's true, right? I mean, smash them.
Smash them until they can't breathe.
No, hold on. Take it easy. I don't know if I said that.
Until you can't recognize their face.
Easy. I don't know if I said that. Did I say that? I don't think I did. All I'm saying is you tell them to stop. You be prepared to take it as far as they want to take it to stick up for your brother. Mm-hmm. But I've seen cases, and maybe I'm skewed because of the justice system. I've seen cases where people physically abuse a special needs kid. Mm-hmm. I mean, not even it's cruel enough to tease them and physically beat them up.
And the insecurity in the
brother, it's just pure evil. And what I've said to you guys, if somebody ever touches Michael, words give him a chance, to back down.
Right.
But one or two times, that's it. Then you smash him. But if they touch Michael, there's no talking. There's no getting teachers. There's
Right.
nothing. There's nothing. You do what you have to do to stop them from touching Michael.
Right.
And you make sure that you send a message.
It's on the touch, not
Well,
verbal.
Well, that's too different. If somebody's
If they
physically,
if they don't stop after, if they say something and they don't stop after you tell them to stop, if
you escalate it. I mean, you just say, I told you, don't talk about, and you get in there. You don't get too close to them unless you're ready to punch. But I mean, I'm just saying you've got to take it to another level. That because I'm telling you, I have zero tolerance to that.
So here's a question: at what age? Because you how much of an age difference between you and Michael?
Michael's 12. No, he's 13. Wow.
13, 15,
So
2 years.
about
Okay, so you've been growing up with them in school and pretty
Yeah.
much since you guys were in what, first or second grade?
Because he used to only be a grade under me, but then we kept him back 1 year. So now he's 2 grades younger than me.
So was it in elementary school, like say third or fourth grade? I mean, were you dealing with this kind of stuff, or were kids more empathetic towards Michael?
I think the first time I ever had a problem with someone making fun of Michael was like my 3rd day at Great Hearts.
Third day?
3rd day.
What happened?
It was, I told you about this. It was, so I was in class and Michael was in the hallway and you could hear him and he was stemming. And then this one little boy, he starts laughing and then he goes, "That kid is so weird." And then I look at him and I go, "That's my brother. Don't talk about him like that." And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." And
Wow.
I took it a little too far.
No, you didn't.
Well,
What
no,
did you do?
because for the rest of class, I was giving him glares, and I
Good.
was like, and my teacher told me to stop.
And what grade were you?
1st grade.
Wow.
So smash him.
And then I remember in 3rd grade, my teacher talked to you about this at the parent-teacher conference.
To me?
Yes. It was the only issue she had with me all year. And I was in class, and you know, at Great Hearts, they're very strict. You're like, you have to raise your hand before you want to get up.
Right.
You have to ask to go to the bathroom if you want to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't do anything without permission. And so I hear Michael crying in the hallway because I recognize his. I was in 3rd grade. And I get up without permission. It's the end of the day. I get up without permission. I open the door, and the teacher's in there. And I'm like, "Is he okay?" And my teacher lost it. She's like, "Maya, get back in here." And so then I was scared. I was like, I closed the door. And then she goes, "What were you thinking?" I was like, and I started crying. I was like, "That's my brother."
The next time
And
you
then
just
she
say,
goes,
"That's my brother, man."
Well, I mean, I was
Take it up with my.
I was in 3rd grade.
I know.
I was Bobby, I was scared. I had never gotten in trouble in my whole life at school.
That's
This is
cool,
the
man.
first time a teacher had yelled at me. I was scared.
All right.
And so then I was like, "That's my brother." And then she goes, "Oh, is he okay? I'm sorry." And I was like, "He's fine." And then I sat down and I was like,
for
"Can I
you.
check on him?" And she goes, "Yes, of course, go." I was like, "It's okay."
Yeah.
Have they got meaner as you guys get older, or
Yes.
yeah?
Who?
Well, not meaner, just
I'm
like
just as kids
Well,
grow
kids
up.
need strict, man. They
they
need.
joke about it more. Like it's more of a
Yeah.
like autism and
Kids mean. I thought you meant teachers.
Oh,
Kids are gotten.
teachers? Wait,
Teachers
are
are
you talking
kids.
about
No, kids,
Oh,
students.
kids.
kids.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But
Peers.
teachers have definitely gotten more mean.
No, they're strict.
No.
They're mean.
My teacher, I'll tell you about it later. My
No.
Spanish teacher today.
Yeah.
Well, the reason that they are getting meaner is because the same thing what you
Because
said.
we're getting older and because we're getting more.
Yeah.
Because you guys are
of us-
nuts. Kids
of-
are nuts.
Yes. But it's that kids are trying to discover.
But this is
the
why.
world.
Look, this is why, Tyler. I tell you, and I tell people, kids are mean. You know, you're blessed to be around some good kids overall, but you're gonna get outside that bubble at some point, and if you're not prepared to defend yourself, you have to be formidable. The Christian young person has to be formidable. I think there's this stupid ass thought that a Christian has to be some pious little, oh, kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. And that's a bunch of BS, you know? I mean, you need to be formidable. You need to be formidable with your mind, your thoughts. You need to be formidable with your faith and with your hands, with your body. And dare I say dangerous. I've always wanted you guys to be dangerous. With your thoughts first. I mean, your thoughts and your faith. Man, this girl's dangerous because she really believes what she believes. She's a critical thinker. She's not easily influenced. She's a leader, not a follower. But she'll smash your ass and she'll throw down with you if she has. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, because that's it. The world will eat you up, man, if you are not prepared in your mind, your spirit, and your body. And it's an experiment. That's what we try to do with you guys. I know you sometimes think I'm probably crazy,
No,
but
I don't. I mean, I think, I don't know why, but just a bunch of people at school are scared of me.
they're
Like,
scared of you.
they're scared of me.
Why?
Well, because I don't remember what it was, but last year there was this thing where they were like picking fights with people, like who would win in a fight, this person, and I won all of them. Even against guys.
And a joke. Well,
It
you
was a
better be
joke,
able
of
to.
course. Well, yeah, but
You should be able to. I mean, that's just the way it is. Look,
Sweet Maya, what?
Sweet Maya, you see her on the mats, man. She's tough.
She's got the
When she wants to be,
reputation.
she's tough, man. All of them. I mean, they have to be. You know, that's just the way it is. Look. Someday, this is why, sweetheart, and I've told you this before.
someday you're not gonna be with us.
That's right. Someday the good Lord's going to call me home, and whether it's tomorrow or in 50 years, you know, hopefully it's 50 years. How old am I? No, 40 years, not 50. I don't be here that long.
About 50.
Nah, it's too long.
Centurions are.
I'm happy with 90, but whatever. Whether it's 40 years from now or 40 days from now, there's someday I'm not going to be here.
Right.
And mommy's not going to be here. And it's not to put pressure on you guys, but it's our family responsibility. God gave us that responsibility to nurture Michael.
Right.
You know? And it's going to pass on to you and to Leah and Zeither, and that's, you're going to do it as a team, as a family. And that's okay. It's a pleasure, right? It's a pleasure to raise Michael. And I'm glad that you're seeing that now. I know when you were younger, you probably didn't understand it. Where do you see yourself in your relationship? Well, what about you and Leah? And Zeither?
I'm kidding. What?
Huh?
What?
Having a little sister.
Yes, it's lovely.
Yeah, right. She's a normal kid, man. People think she can be a pain in the ass sometimes. What else? Let's wrap it up in a little while. But what else? What else about young people? Any questions from young people out there?
What else about young people?
It's just a different world, man. Look. This is an experiment. This whole thing. I mean, the reason why I want to spend so much time with you and your friends is because at 18, whatever happens, you go to college. Even though colleges suck, but you're gonna go off to school. You have to go if you're gonna go to law school. But wherever you go, you have to be prepared, Angel. You know, you're not going to be, mommy and papi aren't going to be around you.
Right.
It's going to be you and Jesus, you know, and he's going to be in your heart. You're going to be ready mentally, physically, you know, spiritually, and make choices that, you know, honor God and then honor us secondarily. But, and bring your name, you know, bring God and your family name honor. That's what you want to do. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't make poor choices. I mean, look at my life. I mean, she knows my life. She knows, you as you got older, you got to know. I mean, we watched that Netflix show together. When did people bring that up to you? When did you know about that?
I remember you filming for it.
Oh, that's right.
Years ago, and I was like,
But
"What
you
is
didn't know
this?"
it. You didn't know what it was.
I didn't really know what it was. I was just like, "What are you doing? Why do you have the cameras in the car and everything?" And he was just like, "Oh, we're doing it for a documentary." And I was like, "Okay." And then as I got older, I kind of forgot about it because when I was younger, I wasn't really like watching Netflix and I wasn't really, kind of forgot about it. And then I got older and I don't remember who it was, but it was someone. It was Maricela. She was like, "Maya, my parents were watching the documentary your dad is in last night." I was like, "What?" "What?" "On Netflix." And I go, "My dad's on a Netflix show?"
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then I watched it. I was like, "Oh." And
When did you watch it for the first time?
last year.
14?
14. I was 14. I watched it because I had been wanting to watch it for a while. And I was like, "Mommy, can I please watch it? I want to watch it." Because I didn't really know what had happened. And so I was like, "Can I please watch it?" And she goes, "Okay." And so I watched it in the living room.
With mommy?
No, by myself. Mommy didn't want to watch it with me. And then a few months later, I asked to watch it again with you. And so we watched it. And I'll watch it over again every now and then. Just, yeah.
What did you think of it?
I was shocked because, I don't know, I didn't really know anything about it. I just knew that, I never got to meet my uncle because he was murdered on the driveway. But that's about it. I didn't know anything else.
So, did you get anything out of the second time watching it? And did you have any questions for your dad?
Yes, I had a lot of questions for my dad. Because the first time I definitely had questions, but there was no one there to answer them for me. So the second time I was kind of just would pause the video every 5 seconds and I'd be like,
Oh,
wait,
that's right.
what is that? Why were you why was it? Yeah.
I remember.
So I had a lot of questions, but
That's good. Yep.
yep.
Well, what are we missing? Good job. Good conversation, Maya. Good job.
Conversation.
You're always. George might be out of a job. It's gonna be R-rated Christianity with
No, PG-13 Christianity.
PG. Oh, sorry, that's right. PG-13 Christianity.
TV-14.
Nico, let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
How can it it's a loaded question.
Go ahead. That's okay.
But how are you supposed to raise a child in 2024? You know, as a parent, you've got 4 kids.
Deliberately.
Just make sure they don't become a furry.
A what?
Just make sure they don't become a furry.
A furry?
A furry.
What's that?
The animals.
What
A
the hell is
furry.
that?
Like
A Furby?
kids- like kids that pretend to be animals.
Oh God, no. No, I think you do it deliberately.
Okay, so like for example, there's the toddler age, the disobedient 4 or 5-year-olds, to the discovering
Yeah.
and gaining that personality at age
I
10.
look, it's got to be deliberate. It's an experiment. Dobby and I, you have to, if hopefully in a biblical marriage, you got to be on the same page. And we were strict on you guys. I mean, I struggled on when to spank, especially a little girl, and when and how and how often. I mean, I went through all that too. But we really didn't have to spank you guys much. Maybe you more than, I don't know, not much. I mean,
She was
enough.
the trailblazer.
You were definitely more strict than like my friends' parents.
Yeah.
How about Zyther?
Was Zyther got to see. Zyther really. I mean, I spanked him a little bit too. We spanked all you guys except for Michael. We spanked everyone. Well, no, I don't think I ever spanked Leah.
You never spanked Leah.
Well, she. If I look at her the wrong way, she'll cry. I don't have to spank her. I mean, she was. She's not.
I would cry. You would drag me in a room and
No,
I'd be crying,
no,
and you'd be
yeah,
like,
No, because you know why? 'Cause this chick, what she would do? So she wised up. So I was like, we're going to your room, you're getting a spanking. Okay, Papi, I'm sorry. Papi, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll never do it again. All right. That's better. And then I wouldn't spank her. So she would talk me out of it on the way to the room. And I said, wait a minute, this chick she's manipulating me. Yeah. And so once I gave the thing, boom, it was over. You keep doing that, you're going to get 2 of them. And then she said, oh, crap. I better be quiet.
Hey, Misty's watching with her 10-year-old daughter and saying a lot of things that her and her husband tell hers, and glad to know that she's in good company.
Well, it is. Look, you have to raise your children deliberately. You have to, Proverbs 22:6 say, raise a child, start a child up in the way they will go. When they get older, they won't depart from it. My bottom line is defiance. I mean, and there's different ways. A temper tantrum is defiance. Anytime a child says no to a parent, it's defiance. And then if they can say no to your parent, they can say no to anybody in society. And I remember an acquaintance of mine years ago said, I never wanted to tell my kids because I said so. I said, why not? My pop said it to me all the time.
that's all you ever say.
Well, when you were younger, not now. I tell you.
Still.
Well, because because you're older, I can explain more things to you. But in the end, you're establishing authority to your children. Papi, why? Because I said so. That's the why. I don't have to give you an explanation. It's because I said so. There's authority. Now, when Maya got 12 or whatever, Leah at 11, she's 11, right? Yeah, she's 11.
My last spanking, I was 10 years old.
You what?
My last
Spanking?
spanking was.
You remember
10 years
that?
old.
Dang, 10?
Hey, she
I'm
deserved it, I
filing a
guess.
complaint.
Yeah, no.
All I'm saying is, you've got to establish authority, but not just, you can't just be this grouchy ass parent all the time. I mean, I hope you guys always know I always affirm you with love.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I ask you guys why do I love you so much, what's the answer?
Just because.
That's right. Just because. Every one of them. Why do I love you so much? Just because, Papi. You always. I got it. Don't forget it. And I'm affectionate with them, and I'm honored. Look, I'm gonna say this humbly because I'm honored. At 15 years old, she still wants me to go lay down with her. And I cherish. Yeah, I cherish that. I think it's neat. She's told me some tough things about, situations she's dealing with a friend, and maybe what advice do I give this person if they're asking me, and that's how I want it. That's how we want it, And so it's not easy. It's tough. It's an experiment. This parenting thing, but if you have principles that you raise your child up, and you direct them to Christ, it's always about Christ. I mean, Leah jokingly started this years ago.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
She said, she went up to you one day and she goes, "You're my second favorite papi."
It was on Father's Day, by the way.
Oh yeah, it was on Father's Day, and she goes up to me. She goes, "You're my second favorite papi," and he's like, "Okay, well, who's your first?" And then she goes, "Jesus."
It's because Jesus, papi. And I said, fair enough. And that was when she was 5.
Right.
So it was like 6 years ago.
Innocent.
She was a cute.
But I'm saying, but I'm glad. I mean, that's right. I am the second favorite. Christ is first. Christ takes precedence over me. You know, Davi and I are Christ representatives in the home. And so respect is a huge thing in our home. I mean, if you guys even answer mommy wrong, you know, I can't stand yeah. I don't even like yes. It's got yes, mommy, no, mommy. I mean, just it's respect, because then you can translate yes, mommy to yes. What are you doing making that face for?
Nothing.
Well, I mean, so, you know, yes, mommy, yes, sir, no, sir. I mean, that's just respect. Nothing wrong with you. So respect, honor, you know, and then, you know, defiance will always be dealt with very harshly. But love and affirmation, you got it. It's not a one thing. It's a combination of things that you're always directing them to Christ. You love them, you affirm them, you encourage them, but then you also correct. When 2 Timothy 4 says to encourage, and rebuke. I mean, and you have to do those things.
What's that one? It's like start a child off in the way.
Proverbs 22:6. That's the one I was telling you about. Encourage, correct, and rebuke is 2 Timothy 4. That's one I couldn't think of. But same thing with parenting. So, anything else? We're gonna wrap it up.
No, that's it.
All right, guys. Maya, good job. You're past your bedtime for a good reason. Theo George has lost his job to Maya LaHood.
Good.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. Hope you enjoyed it. Share it with someone you think might benefit from it. And have a blessed weekend. And God willing, we'll see you next week. Bye, Maya. Thank you.
Bye.
Good job.
Well.